Hello, everyone. Welcome back to PSY-POD, the podcast about nothing. The podcast where we bring local people to have local vibes. We are just like newsflash headlines without the flashing. I don't know. Nola told me to say that. Whatever. Anyways, who do we have here? Oh, can you please kindly look into the camera and say hello to our local and international fans?
Okay. So hello, everyone. And my name is Tenzing Lamsang. I'm the editor of the Bhutanese newspaper. And I'm here joining Tshomo today on PSY-POD, and I'm very happy that he's invited me.
Okay, thank you. Very short and sweet, which I like. Okay, last, with that being said, we'll get to know more. Live from Junior Studios, PSY-POD starts now.
PSY-POD, 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 PSY-POD.
Alright, before this podcast begins, a special shout out to our sponsor, Global Reach, a trusted name, a trusted brand, helping you connect with all universities abroad since 2004. So if you guys are considering to study abroad or already planning to study abroad, why don't you go with Global Reach? Because they're connected with many universities in countries like Australia, America, Canada, New Zealand, to name a few, plus many more. Especially in Australia, where they've been connected with 40 universities. Yes, 40 universities. And not only that, they'll help you with their certified counseling and their transparent guidance, plus extra services like helping you with your health insurance, flight ticketing, and bank account setup. Basically, everything's covered all under one roof. So if you guys want to get in touch, you can contact them through their website, their social media links, or even visiting their offices in Thimphu and in Thinley. Global Reach, a trusted name, a trusted brand. Now, back to the episode. Okay, before we start, like always, we have to give a big shout out to our to DOMCIIP for supporting this podcast. Thank you so much for supporting us. And also, if you look up, we will see our podheads, our lovely podheads who are generously supporting this podcast. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast. We appreciate everything you guys do, and you help keep the lights on, the tea hot, and today we actually have some saffron tea. So see, we've upgraded. Thank you so much. Anyways, if you want to be a podhead, you can do so by pressing the join button or by clicking the link in the description. You get perks such as early releases, member-only posts, and badges. See, when you comment, there's a badge on your side, and also the appreciation of my heart. Thank you so much for what you guys do. Okay, and also you can upgrade your plan and become a Podhead Pro, a Pro version like these people. See, another 6 people have appeared up in the sky. Okay, so thank you so much to our Podhead Pros. You're a little bit of a tier above. So shout out to Elo Bello, Rabsel, Lhendup, Norbit Digital, Karma Zimba, Tandin, Phubz, Pema Samdrup, and Susan B recently, which we met in person. So shout out to Susan B, who also gave me this gift. It's a dragon which throws up, I think. I don't know. Thank you so much. Alright, if you want to be a Podhead Pro, you can always also do so by pressing the join button, pressing the link in the description and upgrading your plan. Thank you so much. Alright, let's begin. Okay, a little bit of a short bio before we start. Like I mentioned, he's the editor of the Bhutanese newspaper, which is one of the biggest newspaper, and I think now one of the few private newspapers left in the country. And why I wanted to bring along was he does something which not many newspapers do, which is something called investigative journalism. Because I'm also into true crime, and I like to read watch a lot of documentaries, and I think that also I think he's a fan because when you read it, you can tell he loves to get into the background story of here is subject A, he lived like this, he became like this in order to do this. So today we'll talk about a lot of stories. I'm sure has a lot of interesting stories in his journalism career. But before we begin into that, let's just get a little touch about the background. So, how did you find your way into this career? Or, what inspired you to become a journalist, to start a newspaper, and also what was the itch which made you want to follow this career?
Yeah. So, when you reach high school, class 11, 12, that's when you start thinking, what do I do? Because after 12, what college do you decide on? No? And I think I'm from a humanities background, and always better to do what you're good at, And so I've always done well in humanities. So I went for a humanities college in Delhi University.
Okay.
And while doing college, what I decided to do is I wasn't too sure, So I was thinking of law. Possibly being a lawyer.
Okay.
Then I was thinking of entering the advertisement industry as a copywriter.
Okay.
And my one of the options, I wouldn't say it my third option, one of the options was being a journalist. So I think in college it's important to discover yourself. So what I did was while in college, I took internships every year for all three. So in the first year I did copywriting for the law. I decided to drop it because I realized that you need a very good zongkha in to practice in Bhutan. So I mean, then it was a bit technical also. Then I did some copywriting. I did an internship with an international advertisement company in Delhi. Did it for 10 to 15 days over my summer break, and I enjoyed it initially, but found it too hollow. It was very commercial. Then in my second year in college, I did internship with World Wildlife Fund, South Asia headquarters in Delhi.
Okay.
I did it for a month, and there was I was on the other end, PR, public relations. So I was like trying to get media houses to write about WWF. We were involved in fundraising, and we could raise funds for a new wing of WWF in Delhi. But then again, it wasn't my cup of tea. It went well, but so in my final year, I did internship a couple of months after college hours. I did an internship with afternoon newspaper in Delhi called Mail Today, and I published quite a few stories to the end, to the extent that in the end, they offered me a job. I was like 4 or 5 months away from graduation, so they offered me a job, and then just before graduation, we have something called campus placement. I'm sure you have it in Bhutan as well. Some campuses. So the Indian Express newspaper came on campus, and they're quite a prestigious brand, known for critical, journalism and all that. So they came, and I just sat for the interview and writing test, and I got through. So I had two options: Mail Today or Indian Express, and Indian Express being more prestigious. So I joined that, and my journey began since then. So that's how I got into journalism.
Okay.
Yeah. So I worked for 2 years in Delhi.
Okay. Then when you came to Bhutan, you said, okay, I want to start my own newspaper thing. How did that idea come up, and then the journey there?
I worked for 2 years there, and things were going really well. I got an offer from another rival, India Today group, but I had some family reasons I had to come back for, and then I came back. The timing was really good because elections were just starting, 2008.
Okay.
Remember? So I joined Kunsel on contract for a couple of years, and I was there for 2 years, and one of my kind of informal responsibilities was to help Kunsel to go daily. I mean, from the because I came from a daily news background, so I think I had a very good stint in Kunsel, gave me a lot of exposure. And then after that, I joined Bhutan's first business paper as the news editor. So in Kunsel, I became chief reporter. Then I jumped up the ladder to news editor in Business Bhutan. I was there under 2 years. Then I thought that let's start something on my own. Then I co-founded the Bhutanese in 2012. So anyway, now it's been almost 13, 14 years.
Yes. So when you initially started, how did you come up with the name, the Bhutanese? And then also it's green. It's very iconic, that green color. No, when I think of Bhutanese. So what was the thinking process with all that?
Yeah. So actually, I was thinking of the New Yorker,
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
All Times New in font.
Yeah.
Old
so
font.
I did the Bhutanese, and unfortunately, there was a restaurant by the name of the Bhutanese. So we used to get calls for reservations,
Nice.
restaurant reservations and all that, initially, because they were more known than us.
Okay.
So we were just starting out, and but I think it went well. And then the green color was. We had to choose a color, so I chose green because I just felt, green environment, like GNH.
Okay.
Green is a very, it's a natural color. And then we had hired some designers from India, some very good designers to do the layout, to the logo and all of that. So that's how we came up with it.
Okay. So now getting back into this field, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but sometimes when I see you post online and when I see the headlines on the Bhutanese, I feel like you're very bold and you're outspoken. Because some people, at least Bhutanese, generally speaking, we like to keep our opinions to ourselves, like but I feel like you don't shy away from that. So where does that come from? Was it like inborn thing when you were young, or was it like, okay, now if I want to be a reporter, I have to be bold, I have to be outspoken, I have to write the headline-worthy kind of topics? How does that come about?
Yeah. So I think partly inborn, because it's part of your personality, right?
Yes.
But also because I guess when you train professionally, you know how to handle issues and all of that more in a professional manner. So this comes from because I think when you're deciding to become a journalist, it's not just like a 9-to-5 job, no? I mean, it's not 9 to 5. It's like 9 to and then limitless, sometimes. So in that sense, you need a passion. I mean, you need passion for every profession, but this is a little difficult because, especially in a small society where people tend, as you said, not to express themselves and don't appreciate people who don't express themselves too much also, So Anibendege, I think this was, I always had this. And then I think, to an extent where you kind of feel like I'm that kind of a chap, like if you are in a meeting and then if the director or the boss will say, any more points, and I'll be the one raising my hand.
Okay. Wait, I have a few. Okay, wait.
So I've gone for many stakeholder meetings, and I've always discovered I'm the one kind of going against the norm and all that. So I think you have to have a bit of that mentality, a bit of a rebel with a cause, but not without a cause.
Okay.
So you have to be ready to think. But of course, journalism. I mean, if I can put it to your young viewers, you need brains and balls, both,
okay.
the two B's,
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's not just enough to have either of one,
Okay.
So you have to be, your work has to be grounded in research. And when I say bold things or write bold things, I make sure that it's all based in facts. So because you have to be responsible also more. Like for example, when we publish, I think the good track record we've had so far, despite being a critical paper, is we haven't been dragged to court even once.
Okay. Nice.
Why is the golden rule we have in our offices? Anything we print, we should be able to defend in court.
So
it should
factual.
have, it should be factual, backed by evidence, and verified. And we always try and give the other side their say. So and they also get their kind of say, and of course we verify and all of that.
Yes.
So I think you have to. While being bold, but you have to be smart also. And then the ultimate aim, what's the aim of you being bold and all of that, right? The ultimate aim has to be public interest, because journalism, why people give it importance or respect or whatever, or which has like a holier than thou image, is because the main purpose of journalism is to fight for public interest.
Okay.
You're not like a lobby group for the mining industry or A or B. You are there to fight for public interest. So I think that's what it is.
So let's say someone who's watching this doesn't know what journalism means.
Yeah.
How would you explain it to them?
Yeah. So journalism is it's very simple. It's like we are like kind of storytellers, meva. So Hema, I think in the old days when there were no newspapers, so there used to be these like in the Wild West in America, there used to be these people who used to go from town to town,
Okay.
and they would be like conveying news and reading and
Hear ye.
yeah, something like that. So I think in the Bhutanese context also,
Okay.
Tangacha, like we have in the villages, you have like chipin and like da and all, no?
Okay.
So I mean in the traditional sense. So I think, but a journalist, of course, is a very new concept in Bhutan. When you look at it historically. So I think journalism is very straightforward. You just you're reporting the facts, reporting the news, and you're giving your sometimes your views and analysis also. So I think, it's letting people know what is important, something that will affect them or the larger society.
Okay.
Yeah, letting them know, but in a factual way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so at recent current news, I just checked yesterday, you the Journalism Awards, so congrats on a few awards that you and your newspaper won.
Thank you.
So how does it feel like when you get the recognition and the accolades? Does it have some fulfillment? Finally, I get some validation, or is it like or maybe a measurement of I've reached somewhere with this career path?
Yeah, I think every profession, I think recognition is important, Meva.
Okay.
So, for me, over the years, I've won a few, and I think it's validation. I think it's especially a validation for now. I'm like a little bit on the more mature or older side. So, but I think it's more of a validation for the younger journalists who are coming in, Meva.
Yes.
So it encourages them, because this is not an easy profession. So when you have something that recognizes their work, and it also gives a sense of competition. Because when it's awards, you're competing. Media houses are competing, and I think it brings the best out in people.
Okay.
So in that sense, it's good to have the awards and all that.
Okay. And then, you won an award for your story. What was it like? Can you remind us?
Okay, so my best, I won for 2 categories,
Yes.
best investigation and best business story. So the best business story was this chap, this entrepreneur who was trying to bring the first domestic French fries business in Bhutan.
Okay. Okay. I don't know.
But
about
then
that.
he faced a lot of barriers, a lot of issues, and then he ended up becoming a taxi driver,
Whoa.
yeah,
Interesting
yeah.
story.
And then, I focused on his story because through his story, I could convey the difficulties that a businessman or a private sector faces, bureaucratic hurdles, financing issues, then government agencies favoring government companies. So I could bring that out through his stories, and we followed it till the end. We did 3-part series.
Okay.
So where his problems, then the government promised to help. Then things look very good for him. Then towards the end of the year, I followed up again, and then nothing had happened, and he had gone back to driving a taxi.
Okay.
So it's kind of a journey for him also. And the investigation was, I did a 10-part series on this
10-part. Wow. Okay.
yeah 10-part investigation on it's the official name is SRC. But is this a link to this Pandora biz, which is
Oh yeah.
yeah.
The crypto.
yeah, the crypto thing, yeah. So I think a lot of people felt that they were cheated and they didn't get their money's worth, and then it involved online gambling, it involved various issues. So we investigated it in depth because I think for a long time, because I don't know if you may have seen the ads also.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's very
for the longest time, I thought it was a legitimate business, because I saw and the way it was presented, because when you go through Facebook. But then I started hearing stories, and then I was like, oh my God, and then it was linked with crypto, this, that, or trading. A lot of people who didn't know what they were getting into got into it,
Okay.
and they kind of got misled. And now, because of our stories, it led to him, the main person, being imprisoned, and now he's currently about to be charged by the office of the Attorney General in court.
But what did he actually do wrong? Because I do not. I can get that he kind of misled someone, maybe in a way, by saying, okay, come invest here, I'll teach you this, and you'll get that.
Yeah.
But what was the misleading part in that journey?
Okay, so I think here, because there's a criminal and a civil aspect, criminal law and civil law. So in the criminal aspect, it involved him basically leading people into online crypto gambling sites.
Oh, okay.
So he's saying, I'm going to teach you how to earn Bitcoin, and you basically there you're gambling, And after a while, you have to put in your own money, and the more money you put, the commission goes to him.
Okay.
So and these sites are internationally very dubious sites.
Okay.
If you just do a simple Google search, it's a terrible site. You can lose a lot of money. But the more they lose, the more he'll get. Commission.
Okay. Pyramid scheme, a little bit, somewhat.
Kind of, yeah.
Somewhat.
Online gambling. So and then also, also there were issues of on the civil side, like promising, like I'll teach you this, but in the end, you would just send them a few videos and no clue what they're doing.
Okay.
So then also ethical considerations, like he would portray a very luxurious lifestyle, he made himself the brand. And then people bought into that, So of course there are two sides. There's the person who fools and the person who gets fooled, So my story was not just about this person who kind of did this whole thing, but also I think educating people on what is really trading. Because his trading videos, in our stories, we analyzed his trading videos as well. And I talked to real trading experts from Bhutan who do online trading and actually make some money. And they were saying it's very difficult to do trading. Like Forex and all, and you lose money for 2-3 years, even if you're a good trader. Then you gain the experience and then you start making some money. And still is very tough, very risky. But a lot of people, including uneducated, housewives, were getting into it to do trading, and they were losing money, So it was kind of where the main focus was for the chap to earn mentorship fees. And after that, you had monks also getting into it, who have no formal education background. And then he had promised things like he would give 10 USDT, which is a kind of crypto, no? And he didn't. That's a straightforward promise was not fulfilled. So there were many issues. And then we got into it, but the larger aim of the public interest aim of the series was not to crucify this guy, but that is a collateral thing, but the main aim was to educate our public, young and old, on what is really crypto, what is really online trading, and how not to fall for these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to ask also, like, I think in my small research, I know that as a journalist, the most important thing is protecting your sources.
Yeah,
Yes, right?
of course.
So, like, I don't want you to reveal anything or secrets, anything, but, like, how do you maintain a rapport by finding these sources, and how do you get their trust in order for them to give you the information that you need?
Okay. So if I can bring it into a Bhutanese context and a farming context, your sources are like apple trees, You water them, you take care of them, you protect them, and then they keep giving you apples every year, right?
Okay, yes.
In Paro.
Yes.
But
So specific.
because I'm from Paro. So the thing is, but if you one fine day you want some feeling cold and you chop up your apple tree and burn it up, in the bugari, then you have no more apples. So I think source protection is something like that, So in source protection in journalism, it's an ethical issue also. Like you have to be prepared to go behind bars also.
Okay.
The
source or you?
You
Okay.
the journalists,
Okay.
to protect them. Because they are risking, especially in a very hierarchical and small society like Bhutan, people are taking a lot of risk,
Yes.
especially in the government or even otherwise, coming out to do whistleblowing or to come and talk to you. So it's your number one duty to protect them. And I can be very proudly say that till date, I've talked to multiple sources over the years. Not even a single source of mine has either been caught or either got into trouble.
Okay.
So I take full precautions to the extent that I tell my source, because then my source sometimes nervously calls me, as there's an investigation, they're trying to find out who leaked out these information or these documents. So I said, number one, don't admit, because I'm not going to admit. Don't under pressure say, oh, so I was the one who gave away. I said, number two, if it comes to you put the blame on me,
Okay.
So I'll take the blame.
Okay.
So Anibendegi, it's important to protect your sources because they are your everything.
Okay.
And you have to, and the second part also is not only important to protect them, but when you do your stories, the first step, 50% of your trust is won when you protect your sources. The other 50% is when you do a professional job. So they give you some important documents, files, and you go and mess it up with a lousy, wishy-washy story, then they're not going to trust you again.
Okay, fair
so
enough.
you do a good job, factual, of course, you verify everything. So that's the thing.
Okay, let's role play a bit. Okay, let's say there's a story on PSY-POD. Okay. Not PSY-POD. Let's do a story on Bhutanese creators. Okay. Okay, and then you want to use me as your source. Now, what kind of techniques would you use to say, okay, let me get him? How do I get him to get comfortable and the information? So how does that process go?
Okay, so first of all, you have to do a bit of I would say pattern recognition.
Okay.
So you have to see that among Bhutanese creators, like who's the victim?
Okay.
Because
okay, fine.
why would you go
Do
into
a
Bhutanese
story,
do a
okay.
story? So there might be some victims who are
Okay.
got cheated or robbed or whatever,
Fine.
So you look for somebody, maybe they had a contract and maybe a company didn't keep the contract and they got things. So you have to look for victims, because it's the victims who'll talk.
Yeah.
Because
They how dare they screwed me? I need to share the story. Fix them. Okay.
Exactly. So perpetrators will not talk.
Okay.
They want to.
Yeah, they want to keep it good. I don't want anyone to know this.
Yeah. So you go looking for victims. Sometimes they come to you.
Okay. I have a story for you to share. Okay.
So my office, I run a private newspaper, but I call my office a private newspaper, but a public office. So people, you don't need an appointment to come see me.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll be in the middle of very busy things, and then some farmer will walk in.
Okay.
But I just drop things and give them some time, and then half the time I'm giving them legal advice and whom to approach, that to approach. They may not really have a story. So I have a public office is open. And then people walk in. Other is you approach them, you find out, and then you hear from second party, third party, and then you approach, and then probably start with I might give you a call or a message, and this, that, and then we can carry on from there. If you're interested, if you're not interested, then you shut it down. Then I cannot force you to open up and all. So you have to be ready also, and ready to not only share the information with me, but to take the blowback also. So when I talk to people, especially to victims, so I tell them, be ready, because this is going to happen. And I always tell them, you have to protect yourself. And I always say, when you give me something, it has to be factual. Because if you give me cooked up things, of course I'm going to verify, but by chance I publish it, then I say we both are in trouble. We both get dragged to court. And I think as a journalist, I'm more duty bound. So I have to always, when they give me something, I say, give me the documents, give me the bases, the facts, the evidence, the pictures or the documents, whatever, right? So that's how you approach. So when you go out looking for people, you look for victims. And then the other thing is, which is a reality of our profession, you look for disgruntled people, So there somebody in an organization who's not happy with the way things are going.
Okay, you have to identify him. Okay, this guy looks like he has something to say.
And then their motivations may be good or not good.
Okay.
It could be like very noble, like I want, or maybe very petty, like, I didn't get the promotion, or like, like he's driving a better car than me, Okay. So, but the motivations don't matter, the facts matter, So when they come to you, so then you kind of thing, and then it's a bit of a psychological game also.
Okay.
Not in the case of victims and all, but in the case of like officials who don't talk normally, So how do you get them to talk to you?
Oh, okay.
So you have to, it's a very human thing, you have to gain their trust. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to share their story,
Okay.
It's like whether you can get them to open up to you. And then again, important thing, protect them. Don't put them in trouble,
Okay.
and verify everything.
Okay. So it seems like a very walking on thin ice and eggshells in general.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's a mixture of psychology, bit of like research, scholarship, So I mean, our job is, not very different from like what less investigators do. Sometimes even spies do, So
it's actually I would find it similar to spy work,
So
collect data, don't be seen, and then go off.
You analyze and all, and then you recruit people, But of course we don't pay, So
Okay, not as lucrative. Okay.
So, but of course, the main aim at the end of the day, I keep coming back to, is public interest. What are you doing it for? Public interest. I'm not interested to know what's the procurement key like. The secret rate and all. So it's not that, It's more public interest related.
Okay. Okay. Oh, would you like some water before we start?
No, I'm fine. Yeah.
I'll just top up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, so is there, since you've been like doing all this kind of stories, have you ever encountered? You don't have to mention what it is, but have you encountered any stories that someone came and say, "Hey, stop! You're getting a little bit too far ahead."
Yeah.
And then you were like, okay, you know what? I don't think I should go pursue this story because it seems like it's going to do me more harm.
Yeah.
So I better back off. Has that ever happened?
I think in the Bhutanese society, there is while doing the story, right?
Yes.
While doing the story. Yeah. Of course, people. But in a Bhutanese society, it's a very polite society,
Okay.
So people usually don't threaten. But there are some like who's, I'll sue you and I'll do this to you, that you, and then my standard response is that we have nothing personal against you, and in journalism, one important protection is you avoid conflict of interest. Like let's say. And I tell this to my newsroom also, like if it is something to do with your father or mother or your immediate family or even a relative, you will not cover the story because that brings conflict. So that's where you land up in trouble. Like you have let's say some family dispute and you avoid conflict of interest. So that's the first step where you remove the suspicion because you're approaching it, you never met the guy. The guy doesn't know you, so they already know that it's nothing personal.
Okay.
And you assure them also,
Okay.
and these are the facts, and you give them a fair chance to reply back. Of course, they are the ones who kind of say that, but it's usually pleading. It's not, threats are very few. There are hotheads who occasionally, but in the end, nothing comes of it, right? Once you're based on facts. But there are people. Sometimes people will shout, and then I won't reveal, but they'll use in Dzongkha we say Tshomo, so a lot of colorful language and threats to take to court, and then so I just.
So how do you deal with that when you get someone threatening you with legal action or with any physical harm?
Yeah.
How do you respond to that?
So physical harm not so much, but I think usually threat
Legal action.
Not usually, occasionally, very rarely. Yeah. I think so. You just say it's. Based on facts, you stay professional because the moment you start engaging in the same language, then you lost your professionalism. Yeah. So you lost. So you stay professional and you let them know. And I think even people once they know that you're fair, I think even their whatever that initial, that anger, all that goes away.
Okay.
And the story has to come out. You have to give them, no matter like, even if you're convinced in your mind that this chap is 100% guilty, you have to still give them a chance to
Tell their side.
To tell their side,
Okay.
and it might be BS, but still, tell them, let them share their BS,
Okay.
So at least they'll have like, I had my say and all that. But of course, you verify and you counter check.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go into the next subject, I just want to know, as an entrepreneurial standpoint, like how is it like with this economy,
Yeah.
running a newspaper business
Yeah.
on the entrepreneurial side? Like you,
Yeah.
you have staff handling this. You've done.
Yeah.
You say you've done it for 13 years.
Yeah.
A lot of challenges which must
Yeah.
have come. A lot of success as well.
Yeah.
So how is it like that with the state of our economy right now?
So, like you're running a podcast here, no?
Yes.
And my running a newspaper is not that different. Because both of us are in the field of content, remember?
Yeah.
And if your content is good, you get subscribers, you get advertisers, you get viewers. Mush. First you get the eyeballs,
Yeah.
then you get the money.
Yes. Yeah.
In very business sense.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. That's how it works. So I think ultimately, because we have so many newspapers even today, it's come down, but so ultimately, what is your niche? What are you offering? If you're offering the same thing that A, B, C, D, E, F, G papers, and now with social media even more,
Yes.
are offering. Then what's the point of like buying your paper? What's the point of advertising with you? So I think you have to offer the readers or the viewers, in your case, something unique, a USP, a niche product. And then I think so that is the key, and so you have to have good content, remember, something that connects with the people, something that is in the public interest, but at the same time, journalism is not entertainment memo. So it's not like a music video or something like that. No, so it's different.
Okay,
it's much more different. But at the same time, you can I think engage readers. So I think if you have that right over time. Like any business, the first 3, 4, even 5 years. In Bhutan, I think it's up to 5 years. It's tough. And then you have to think. Of course, you have to start with proper capital and all that. But then over time, as you build your brand, you collect viewers, readers, and you develop a very strong, loyal following. And not to blow my trumpet, but there was a recent media study, and they found that the most loyal readers belongs to the Bhutanese. We are a weekly paper, but we had people checking our page like several times a day, more than like others who are like daily and all. So we have very loyal followers, and you develop their loyalty because they know that you are picking up important issues. And then there are some of our readers who say like Saturday morning doesn't feel right if I don't read. Like it's like the cup of coffee, it doesn't feel right, no?
Yes.
So you develop that kind of relationship with your readers, with your audience. And once you have that, then other things fall in place. Of course, it's a small economy, so I think my advice to entrepreneurs is don't start with a huge team and a huge, start small and then you grow, but always keep your costs low. Keep it low. And then I think that balances it out.
So right now, how big is your force?
So there are around 10 of us.
10 of you guys, and you have one office, right?
Yeah, one office, yeah.
And do you still sell physical paper?
Yeah, we still do.
La.
Because we have a lot of institutional kind of clients also. And then people who want to hold the paper. So they're not into this, So they want to hold the physical paper. So I think, so we still publish for them.
Okay, and right now, without saying any numbers, you say good or bad or okay, like in terms of the revenue and sustainability, how would you say it?
Okay, so I think we are okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're okay. We're sustainable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then mainly, I would assume that your income comes from subscribers and for advertising and stuff?
Yeah, I think for any news business, it's number one advertisers, followed by subscribers. So I think these two.
Okay. Because me also, I'm trying to find some advertisers to promote on this podcast. But since like I have a very small team, it's very difficult. But I'm sure you have like marketing team.
You have to have You should keep a marketing maybe one person.
Okay.
Because
to go around town knocking doors saying, hey, advertise here.
Yeah, because marketing is a completely different piece of thing. Because you're a creative person.
Yes.
And in a way, I'm also a creative person. So that is your strength and my strength, no?
Yes.
But we will totally, suck at marketing, because that's selling a product. So you need to hire specialized people for that, who will go out and talk to clients.
I'm trying to figure that out right now. But right now I'm doing it myself.
Yeah.
I'm coming on my own pitch. But then I'm also like thinking I'm spreading myself too thin also if I'm doing all also
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, I would recommend you hire.
Yeah. But then,
somebody good,
someone let me know. I'll give you commission to go. Sure, I'm looking for advertisers. Please. We're not struggling, but we need to grow more.
Yeah,
But okay.
yeah.
Okay, I need to. So you mentioned that you have a newspaper, what you call, issue every weekly.
Every Saturday. Yeah.
So
Saturday
how does Monday look like? Okay, now how are we going to find stories? Where are we going to find stories?
Yeah.
How does that look like? Okay, now every Monday you wake up and saying by the end of Friday we need to come up with a great Khatara story, or how does that work?
Yeah. So we have something called Monday meeting. I mean, like most offices, right?
Yeah.
So what we do is in the Monday meeting we have an editorial meeting. So I sit with my colleagues, my reporters, and what we do is we evaluate the Saturday issue. So we go through every story, and because I'm quite senior, so I share my feedback with each story. Like, so this is the thing and all, and I give it. Then I collect story ideas from my reporters, and then when they give their story ideas, I give feedback. Okay, you can improve it this way. You add this. You talk to these additional people, and then I may give them additional story ideas. Sometimes my reporters may have additional story ideas to give to other reporters. And what we have is a beat system. This is again like something that the police have. The beat system is copied from the police.
Okay.
So police officers or constables have the beat area.
Okay.
So they like walk that area, and whatever crime happens in the area is their responsibility.
Okay.
So ngachiki beat system.
Okay. So your Shanganka, yours.
Yeah. I mean geographical and mostly like agencies.
Okay.
Agencies. So I have one reporter who will cover health and education, another will cover crime, and then it's important to have beat system because they can specialize, so they can go in depth, make their contacts, build their contacts, and be aware about it. So as per the beats, I'll get the story ideas, and sometimes they'll collaborate. Like the stories could involve like multiple agencies, and they could work together. So that's how Monday we do an evaluation.
And how do you stay informed with all the current events? Like let's say a fire just breaks out all of a sudden right now. Now you have to report that. Like how does that work?
Yeah. So in this day and age, usually social media breaks it first.
Yes, exactly. TikTok, like you already see someone streaming it.
Yeah. Some of the fire is burning, and the guy in the next building is going
on the
live,
next minute almost.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of breaking, we look at social media. I mean, like things happening there. But sometimes things escape social media, and we know about it first.
Okay, nice.
Then we have because of the beat system, you build up sources. So sources all across. And then they let you know, or you find out yourself. So I think like getting news, it's like when young reporters join the Bhutanese, I mean, I give them the coaching, and the coaching is not like in a classroom, So I just sit with them for like maybe at the most 30 minutes, and I give them all the basics of journalism, like how to write and 5 Ws, 1 H, and all that, And my example is always Mr. Tashi having an accident, and then how you cover that. Yeah. So just to give an example, and then I take them into because you see, when I hire a young reporter, they're usually a graduate. So they've had no real world experience. So you have to cut that umbilical cord for them. You have to bring them to like real world from all the academic things and college, they're still in that kind of thing. So you tell them like what is the real world, how you get information, how you go in the field. And I always tell them, I say sometimes just bring your lunch to office, take your lunch and go to a ministry and spend your whole day there. Just go around meeting people. I mean, I don't think till anyone's done that, but I always tell them, do that. You go spend time, meet people, introduce yourself. Say, I'm from the Bhutanese and I'm here to cover this, that. So I said, the more people you meet, the better your story ideas. So because this is a very people-based profession, so information comes from them and it's stories about people. So I always tell, you have to go out in the field. It's a field work. So I say a good journalist shouldn't be sitting in the office. He should be mostly out of office, which is the opposite of 9 to 5 jobs, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be out in the field, and it's not easy, and in I would say a Bhutanese society is mostly a polite society, but quite guarded also. So you have to break through, and then you might be told like Tasho is not here, or this is not here, or sometimes you'll be told in an indirect way to get lost, So, but it's part of the profession. So Anibindi, you have to be able to get news and how to do it. So yeah, that's all part of it.
Okay. Very insightful. So I think you need to have that personal experience in order to know the story.
Yeah,
Get to
yeah,
know
yeah.
the person on a personal
Yeah.
level in
Yeah.
order to tell the story on that level as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
more or less.
Because I've had like even journalism graduates
Yes.
like who joined, like who've done all theory but
Oh, but practical
not
no.
much practice, you know. Maybe like an internship or two, but not much practice. So I'll tell them like I'm going to tell you things which your journalism professor would have never taught you, know. So the practical side of things, you know, especially in the Bhutanese context, how you get information and then you know how you ambush people also sometimes, you know.
Yes.
So sometimes you want to meet a senior official and like no time, Tasho Mindu. So I just tell them, you sometimes just like wait outside the office or wait in the corridor, no? And you just say hi Tasho and you know, or hi Limpo, whatever, right? And then like so what I used to do was in the earlier days, but not so much these days. So I used to just when parliament session was going, so I'll be hanging out in the parliament corridors. So when the Limpos and the members of parliament come out for lunch break, tea break, then I just like approach them. And I mean, a society, again, I keep saying is quite polite and also so you say hi to them. And when you're taking so much initiative to be there, so they end up talking to you.
okay,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So yeah, so like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one question I just came into mind. Like obviously we have a lot of newspapers and media houses all over the world.
Yeah.
So in a country like Bhutan, where we're very spiritual, we're religious, how do you balance reporting the news, but also keeping the context of our country setting? Like we have to be spiritual, we have to be Buddhist. Does that come to your mind, or
Of
just
course,
like,
of course. See, you have to operate with the lay of the land. I mean, in Rome, you know, being
Yes,
Romans
yes.
in women. So you have to be aware of the cultural context and all of that. No? So I think that is use that to your strength. You know? So in Bhutan, what works is because we are a very polite society, helpful society more. So that very like aggressive, like kind of like, you know, thing doesn't work. So you have to be very diplomatic, like polite, civil, like charming, you know. And you like if you're going to somewhere, I mean, you like dress appropriately, you know. Like you see me in my go today.
Yes.
Why I'm in go is I'm not like one of those who like to wear it by 24/7, no. But I'm in go because from Monday to Friday I know that I have to go to a lot of government places, offices, and all.
No killer.
And then this is the dress code, and
Yes.
you have to respect,
Okay.
show them respect,
Yes.
and they will show you respect also. You know?
Yes.
And be prepared and all of that. So I think civility, you know, culture, and then the way you talk, the way you ask questions, you have to be a little sensitive, you know.
Okay.
So I think you have to have that aspect, and then you have to be a little charming also, you know, thing and all that. So that opens up people. Remember, if you go hard on them, they close up. You know, so you have to be like, you know, get through to them. You know, I mean, your job is not to scare them. You know, your job is to like get them to open up to you. You know, so get their trust and all that. So I think that's how you do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always thought of one way is like in India and UK, you see also US is like they like to sell like at least like newspapers like tabloids, you know, like finding someone with a scandal, like a sex scandal here, or some like let's say one girl is like she has gone crazy and shaved her head or something like that to get the papers. Do you see like Bhutanese or not just the Bhutanese but Bhutanese in general? You think going straight into that path soon, or you guys think that there could be a possibility?
I think tabloid journalism hasn't reached Bhutan yet.
Yes.
You know, I mean, and I think it will not work in Bhutan's no man. Like in a sense, because you probably be sued, you know, left, right, and center.
Okay.
Because how it works in the West, like especially like the global capital of tabloid journalism is London, remember? And then they like really, because they have freedom of expression laws are like in the other extreme, you know. You can really like write, you know. If somebody is not even like convicted, like, you know, you still like you make them like a thing, you know, and then you can publish their pictures, there is that, remember? So I think in the West it works because, and their society accepts it also. It's like a part of entertainment, remember? In a Bhutanese society, I think legally, ethically, socially it will never be accepted, you know. So I think, and then tabloid journalism is delving into issues which serve no public interest, you know. So like, for example, like we have a lot of actors and actresses, right?
Yes.
You won't see any newspaper in Bhutan publish about their personal life. But if the setting was, let's say, in UK, then the front page will be like on X and Y, actor, actress ki like alleged
affair,
whatever, and then, I mean, and their pictures in like, you know, like in the beach or in the swimming pool or something like that, right?
yes.
So that'll never work in Bhutan.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it will not be acceptable. Yeah.
Oh, are you on Reddit?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I don't have an account there, but I
Have you
do
seen?
go and
Have you
read.
seen the articles?
Yeah.
Because
I do read.
It's like Bhutanese news and forums, but now with a little bit more education. And then people are like, okay, let's say there is like a popular singer or a popular actor or influencer, then this person has done something really bad. Then people are on Reddit with the tabloid journalism ready in hand, with all the details. But then just like how you mentioned, I think they don't have public interest. It's just more like, how dare, it hurt my feelings, now I need to make sure everyone knows it. And also it's like they're basing on opinions rather than facts, I think. But I think you should get into that, because I think that's like a huge story. I think like two major issues I read was last time there was like, I think during the Nepal strikes and the Bangladesh strikes, someone was saying like, I think in Bhutan also there's Nepo babies. Let's talk about them.
Gen Z and all
Let's talk. Like, and then there was like about like, singers like having some scandals, fights here and there, and then people are writing chains and threads out there. So I feel like I'm just wondering what's your take on that.
Yeah. So I think, what I've noticed is, Reddit, the interesting topics that come up there. And this has become like, I think it's like a Gen Z domain. When you read the articles, the way it's written, the lingo, it's very Gen Z, man.
Yes.
And Gen Z and sometimes even younger, So I think it's kind of, they've created a space for themselves online. And then some of the writing is like, I think like, some of the writing is quite well informed and all points and all, but others are like quite speculation based, rumor based, So whether it's Reddit or Facebook, it's a reflection of society, ultimately.
Yes.
So what people are discussing and all that, it comes there. But, I would always say that this is where the role of traditional journalism is very important. I mean, not just Reddit, but like Facebook, now the biggest platform of all, TikTok, right?
Yes.
I mean, uncle aunties are all on Facebook, but the young ones are moved to TikTok. No?
I think the uncle aunties have come to
Also,
TikTok as well.
chasing.
TikTok has become a huge ecosystem.
Yeah. So I mean, so I think whatever the platform, I think when you get information, if you're a consumer of information, please verify, like facts and all that, and it's not enough to verify the fact, you have to verify the context. And then in terms of if you are a purveyor of information, a sharer of information, so you better be responsible and all of that. So I think I would encourage people to come as themselves instead of creating fake accounts and all that, right? And coming as a fake account, if you're a fake account, you tend to be less responsible, go all out, But if you come as yourself, you can make the same points with evidence and facts and laws and all that. So I would encourage people to come out more as themselves.
But the charm of Reddit is the anonymity.
I can understand at one level, because small society bendigi mo, like nobody wants to be targeted at the end of the day, right? So there are people who don't feel safe, and then they kind of come online and share. Then there are like people with ulterior motives also who come and like share like half truths or things of which, and there are people who come and share their opinion, which is that I feel like this. So I mean, it's a mixed bag.
Now, in the future, do you feel like Bhutanese has to now adapt to like these kind of settings like TikTok and all, and become a media sort of news sharing company, but not a newspaper kind of company? Do you feel like the transition has to be done inevitably, or are you making steps towards that, or are you sticking to your guns for now?
Okay. So here, I think the digital transition is inevitable, because if you look at like mobile connections, internet mobile connections, Bhutan has around 800,000, I think 500,000 telecom and 500,000 plus, and 200,000 plus is T-cell. So you already have like 800,000 with mobile connections. Some of them could be duplications, but I mean that's the idea, right? Then this is data from BIGMA's annual report. Then there's Bhutan Media Foundation did a social media study back in 2021, I think, right? And they found that, I mean, we got the internet in 1999, right? We were quite a late entry. But they found that the Bhutanese amount of time they spent on the internet or social media in a day is, I think, an average of 160 something minutes. The global average is 140 something. So the average Bhutanese spends more time on the internet, on social media than the global average, which
okay.
tells you something. Like we are big consumers of online media,
Okay,
online
wow.
social
Okay, I did
media.
not know that.
Yeah, and then like the two top categories is why do they come to social media is information and entertainment,
Okay.
right?
That's
Then
both of us.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So so I think in that sense it's inevitable, So if I can give a very basic example, the Hemadi newspapers is like in paper only, right?
Yes, sir.
Then once we got internet in 1999 onwards, newspapers as they came, they started having websites. Then from websites, that was in the late 90s to the mid 2000s. Then from the mid 2000s, you had like Facebook picking up in
Pages
Bhutan, right?
yeah.
It was there from earlier, but it started picking up. So we started having Facebook pages and then Twitter or X pages and Instagram pages. And the latest is now TikTok. So I think now traditional newsrooms, we are being forced to make that transition.
Yes.
And the positive is that like for a smaller company like the Bhutanese compared to the state-owned media houses, which are much bigger, I think it levelized the playing field, because with the website and then you add social media to it, you can reach more people, right? You don't have to make as much an effort.
Yes.
The infrastructure is already set up for you.
Yes, sir.
The downside is that then when you talk of social media, it depends on algorithms, Meva. So, and the downside of algorithms is like, if you are somebody who doesn't believe like this moon landing ever happened, and if you keep like...
You get more conspiracy theory
yeah,
in the algorithm. Yeah.
And after a while, you're convinced.
Look at the evidence.
So you get all like-minded, and the algorithm will keep feeding you that,
Yes.
So you have to be careful when you consume social media.
Yeah.
Like another one was like a Wall Street crash is about to happen, and you had like a lot of experts talking about it, like credible people, and then so if you're into like business news, and then you read that, then the algorithm keeps feeding you, and then you're convinced that the Wall Street there's going to be a huge stock market crash the following month or the following year, which doesn't happen, and then people like make wrong investments and all of that. So I think you have to be careful when you both purvey and when you both consume social media. So I think, so we have to be there. We even if it's kicking and like fighting, you're dragged into it. You have no option.
Okay.
But then the other side of it is that, it's easier for bigger media houses to go into multimedia more smoothly. So like if I can give an example, like if you are like a big media house, and in Bhutan, the big two are the state-owned member. I wouldn't say state-run, but state-owned.
Okay.
And for them it's easier because they have multiple people and all of that. Whereas for a smaller company like us, we have to really make calculations. Like if you hire 2 more people, salary into costs, into
do all the math.
More. So it has to give a return after a while.
ROI.
Yeah, and then tato Bhutan nalo ngachi ki problem gachi dusla bachin. I think even for our influencers and even for our online podcasters and all, the monetization is not great. So as a result, you have to depend on advertisement, and all of that. Whereas in other countries, they don't have the problem. So here you have a problem of a very small audience, and that's it. And then the money that each person brings is like even less. So like just to give an example, like we have online advertisements. We have Google Ads on our website, which runs automatically. So if a Bhutanese from Australia clicks on the article, it's worth 15 Bhutanese in roundabout. I might get the figure wrong, but it's worth 15 or even sometimes like 20, 30 Bhutanese. The ad value is the same,
Okay.
So I think, those are the business models we're talking about. So in that sense, you have to make sure that, again, if you're a young entrepreneur who wants to get into this online media and podcasting and all that, you have to know the revenue, the costs. So I think, and then traditional media, when we get into online media, do it in a sustainable way, and sustainable way, not only money-wise, revenue-wise, but I think also in terms of, as a traditional editor, I'm careful because already I know my reporters are quite taxed, they're already doing a lot of stories. So you don't want to burn out your people. Like, make one person's already doing like 2 people's job, and then you add another third one. So they're human beings, right?
Yeah.
So you make sure that it's sustainable, both in terms of resources and in terms of like in terms of human capacity to do it, because this is one profession where there's like more responsibilities, more work coming. Now in the good old days, it was just writing an article and it's being printed. Now you have to worry about website, articles for website. Then you have to worry about article for social media, and then it doesn't happen in Bhutan so much, but in the West, like if you are a reporter, your bosses will tell you, go online, increase your followers, so that when you retweet something, then it gets more.
Wow.
So there's all kinds of pressures, So I think there are many aspects to that. And then if I can add one final point on that is, yes, in one sense, social media or online media more. In one sense, it has its pros and cons, but in another way, in the West, why podcasts and online media has really taken off? Like, on the right wing, you have Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly and all, right?
Yes.
On the left, you have like Hassan Piker and, others more.
Okay.
And then like Joe Rogan is like, he's sometimes right, sometimes left, and sometimes, So why they've taken off is because I think one is the generational change, Gen Z, younger crowd. The other reason is because mainstream media in the West, they've lost a lot of credibility over the years.
Yes.
Because mainstream media in the West, they're owned like by one company, which is owned by even bigger company. Then there's like a bigger company.
They just feed their agenda.
Yeah. So they will not touch like certain things. Even they do, it's like, and then like for example, like the Gaza thing, how the Western media has covered the Gaza war.
Versus Al Jazeera's coverage.
Yeah. So then people lose faith, no?
Yes.
Like so I think Anibindigi, it's also a reaction to online media losing credibility, especially in the West also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, I know we have a lot of notes on that. We can talk about that, but before we do, I just wanted to know, when you write your articles and you have journalists writing articles, now AI is also something which you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Do you guys use AI?
We do.
Okay.
And I recommend everybody do.
Okay. Translate this, proofread this. And,
Yeah. So make technology your friend, So when we say use AI, the context is important.
Okay.
So don't use AI to generate the entire story, because you're going to get in trouble, right?
Okay.
So use AI for research. But when you do use it for research, remember that AI hallucinates.
Oh.
It hallucinates,
What do you mean by that?
Hallucinates is it'll feed you wrong information. So like for example, it's like Google, Once upon a time, there's there was like a certain kind of what do you say? You look down upon if you're Googling, You're supposed to go to the library and do the hard work,
Okay.
So AI is like that. So right now you're like, you're using AI.
Okay.
But so now everybody's fine with Googling, So AI is an advanced form of Google.
Yes,
right? It just goes a little deeper.
Yeah.
So I think you use it like you use Google, but be aware that AI hallucinates. They feed you wrong information, wrong data. So at the end of the day, as a journalist, it's always your job important to cross-check. Cross-check. So use AI as a research tool and in a responsible way also, of course. And but make sure that it doesn't do the main work for you. You are still the human interface, Meva. And I think reporting is one job which AI can never replace. AI is going to replace editors, like people who edit, because
Your
you can.
job.
No, but for me the plus point is I'm a reporter also.
Okay, great.
So I do a lot of ground reporting.
Plus.
So in like Ngachekinadi, we are like all like multitasking, no. But in the West, they are like people who don't go reporting. They just sit and they're called like subs,
Okay.
They're called sub editors. Sometimes the short form we call them is subs. When I was working in Delhi in the Express, we had this like line of people, like 15, 20 people. They're just sub articles,
Okay.
Their job is gone now. You can like feed in like 40, 50 articles and AI will like correct all the grammar and everything, right? So those jobs are like in danger in journalism. But the reporting job will never go.
Okay.
Because AI can never go in the field and interview people and talk to people and all that, So I think that job, while AI is replacing so many things or will replace many things, I think reporting will never be replaced because the human touch, like for example, nursing, AI cannot replace nursing ever. So these are because it's a human to human job ever. So like similarly, I think reporting is like that. So I think but then don't be like there's a term for it. I'm forgetting right now. It starts with P, but don't be I think Luddite. Luddite, which means like you're anti-technology, you
Oh,
want to like thing. So don't be like that. So use technology, but make it as additional tool, but don't let that replace yourself. Also,
Yeah, but I think like me also, since I use AI for a lot of scripting work, like let's say I need to make an ad for something, I just ask AI to come up with a draft and I work on it. And also sometimes some social media posts. But now since it's being used more and more, I can easily tell when people are using it, right? But I think people don't realize that people can tell it's easy. Like the wording, the language they use, it's very pattern you can recognize. So people use AI smart. Okay. Exactly 1 hour. But so now I know you want to talk about this. I'm also interested to talk about it. So right now, if you're from outside of Bhutan who doesn't know like what the scenario is, we are experiencing a mass exodus of the very young population leaving the country, and also has very strong opinions on it. So what is your opinion on it? Let's hear it.
Yeah, so I've been writing about it for a few years, and I thought that your podcast is a good platform because I'm sure your demographics are around that age.
Actually, majority of my audience are outside of Bhutan.
So I think this is a good platform, and I think this is also important for people who are about to migrate, and that will be again a large number.
Yes,
who've already migrated, and I think it's important for policymakers to know also, right? So I think I've done research over the years, and then in terms of numbers, I think data point. The first thing is that I think we thought that migration is like going up and now coming down, no? But the latest data showing that it's going up again. So if I can just share some numbers with you. If you go back to it historically, if you go back all the way to 2006-07, and this is financial years, right? June to July financial years. 2006, 2007 financial year kind of started around there. So we had 158 Bhutanese going. But a lot of these were like Aussie people, would go and come back. We started from there. Then over the years, the numbers went up, and then we reached a kind of peak just before the pandemic, I think 2019-20, 2,933 Bhutanese going. Along with this includes dependents more. And then after the pandemic, it really shot up, So I think that record was in 2022-23 financial year, 15,552 Bhutanese. Then, which is the highest ever. Then the next following year was 23-24, 9,787 Bhutanese. Then 24-25, it came down, 6,186 Bhutanese. So I was following this
going down
very closely, but then I thought like this financial year it'll come down, like maybe 5-4, but it's going up. Within 6 months, it's already reached around 6,000. So which is from July to December of last year.
So 6 months.
So it's already reached the same total as it did the whole of last year. So now it's again shooting back up, So I think it's important to know. And what's changing is that the latest migration, earlier migration was mostly like students and their dependents going, almost in equal ratio. But the latest migration, the little troubling data is that the dependence is quite high. So more than half are dependents. Like for example, 2,740 are students, and the dependents are 3,176.
So they're taking their dependent and their family members as well. The children, the ange, the ages.
And like 783 are kids. So a lot of kids are also going there more. And then if you look at it, this is like the biggest crisis facing the country. Like the Prime Minister himself in a speech in July 2024 said that we have around, I think 69,000, 64 or 69,000 Bhutanese who've migrated abroad. And this is a big number. This is 9% of our population, So I think this is something that's concerning. And then if you look at the reasons, it's like livelihood, mostly livelihood. Then some are going for education. Then some are saying red tape, but it's mostly livelihood. And then it's a decision in the Bhutanese context, is a decision also, usually it's a family decision, it's like a partners, they talk, the family talks. And then what also happens is that there's like something called a migrant network, which is that you migrate when it's easier to migrate. So we've established a migrant network because you have your family, your cousin, your friend, your village, same village key person, and then they kind of help you, right? So I think there's a big network there. That's one big factor. Then also what kind of pushes this is like employment opportunities, opportunities to get legal status, then linguistic ties, English, and then like if it is progressive and a liberal environment for migrants, So if you look at it, I think eventually migration causes more migration, remember? And then also like, I mean, sorry, this is going a bit of like a lecture. You can cut in if you
No,
want.
I like detail.
Yeah.
No,
So I think what happened was that Ngachigi, like up to the 1960s, people were equally poor in Bhutan.
Okay.
Like, everybody was like,
Okay.
yeah, so equally poor. And then what happened was because of development, we develop a middle class, right?
Okay.
And when you develop a middle class, what happens is they have two tools now, education and resources to migrate.
Okay.
So the migration, if you see the first wave of migration happened to New York.
Okay.
So a lot of Bhutanese going
To
there
New York,
before the Australia thing ever happened. And then 1999 happened, which is internet and TV in Bhutan. So in a way, globalization had already entered Bhutan before that, but from 1999 it entered in a mass way.
Okay, yes.
And I've studied outside Bhutan. I mean, all my educational life. So I was exposed. I was to go out and I'm studying outside. And then, but when after TV came to Bhutan, and from the post 99 onwards, I was still in school. When I came back, I saw that kids were dressing like hip hop and all, which from go to baggy jeans, happened overnight, right? So I think what happened was that people were exposed to a lot of like the globalized economy, and then the aspirations started going up.
Okay.
But the kind of economic growth didn't keep up with the aspirations, So our story starts from 1999, in terms of migration, and then it is like a globalization of economics and values also. What happened was from 1999 onwards, I think our values started changing also, slowly.
Okay.
Like Hemadi, if you talk to earlier people, they're like, I'll go out and then that was the ideology, remember?
Okay.
So that because of globalization, that ideology is like gone,
Okay.
So now it's like, what about my family? Like what do I have in savings? What do I have in assets? So Ani, like that's kind of taken over, remember? So that is like the ideology of migration,
Okay.
like where you are thinking about yourself, not just about the larger good and all that more.
Yes.
And then also, I think in the case of Bhutan, I think one big thing that happened was, and which is I think applies in the case of Bhutan. I've studied a lot of international migration theories, remember?
Yes.
So ngachegi nalu, what is a big factor is what I would call stagnation. So like you would assume that migration is happening only because there's like economic poverty and all of that, no? And then Bhutan doesn't fit most migration models. Like migration usually happens when there's war, civil war, political instability, and violence, and a climate disaster. Like in African countries and all of that, right? Or in the Middle East. But we don't fit any of that category. So in our category, I was studying and I was looking up. I think two things fit Bhutan very well.
Okay.
One is economic stagnation, and the other is economic outlook. So there is this sense of like people don't migrate only because like they're very poor and all that. If you're very poor, you can't migrate, right? So there's this sense of economic stagnation, like there's no future, and then economic outlook also. The people won't migrate because they're like not doing well right now. They're like, there's always a hope that, okay, I'm struggling right now, but I know that in 10 years, like I'm going to make it big, because this opportunities. But when you have an economic outlook, like, okay, in 10 years also, I'm going to be like still hand to mouth, So then people tend to migrate, remember?
Yes.
So I think in that sense also, I think the sense that there's no future in Bhutan, and then there's another thing called I think geographic reality of Bhutan also, So geographic reality is according to the World Population Development Report, we are the world's most mountainous country.
Okay.
98.8% of our land is like mountains and hills,
Okay.
which means very less land for large-scale agriculture industrialization. So it's a matter of geography also. So people just say, ani policy legislation mindu, market mindu, So we are like the world's most mountainous country, and then we always thought that a small population was an advantage, right?
Yes.
This and that. But then I think now it's going to turning out to be the biggest disadvantage. So, and this is there in the UN when we graduated in December 23, the UN did a report, and I did reporting on that also, where they say that even though Bhutan is graduating, it has two lasting vulnerabilities. One is the landlocked geographical nature, and the other is a small population. Added to that, are vulnerable agriculture and all that. So we are in a very vulnerable area.
Yes.
So I think people can feel it, man. It's not by like just happenstance, but it's also like the reality of where we live more.
Yes.
So Ani Bendegi, I think so this is a kind of a big disadvantage. And then I think also what happened is that because of like middle class developing Bhutan, economic growth, we started seeing economic inequality. Remember? So like I said, up to the 60s, everybody was like equally poor, and had the same house and like same whatever, right? But then you see the emergence of a middle class and upper middle class, then the industrial class, big business class, all of that. Then you see somebody driving a very good car, and then all those aspirations and all of that, right? And then on the other hand, you're like hand to mouth, So then that sense of thing also, migration is also impacted by relative poverty. You don't have to be poor. You have to just feel poor compared to your neighbor. And this is a big thing in Bhutan. If your neighbor has a brand new car, then you are like, I'm not doing well. Even if you're driving a car, if they have a better car than you, you're like, I'm not doing well. So I think this comparative thing, and then so there are many. Then there's one thing called migration hump. Which the camel's hump. Like so, there's one theory that between $7,000 and $14,000, like until you can reach $7 or $14,000, you'll get automatic migration as a part of development. But that is one theory which is very popular. But on the other hand, the new research has come out saying that, cancelling this theory, saying that as long as you have economic growth, so higher economic growth means less migration. And this is something that Bhutan, we've not had since the post-pandemic period. Our economic growth has not been great. And then most of the growth has been, I would say, in large sectors like hydropower. Like we have one hydro project and the growth like shoots through the roof, but how much jobs has it generated? How much really economic impact is there, And like a high impact area like tourism hasn't been doing well. So I think there are many factors, and then urbanization, because Bhutan, we've been seeing rural-urban migration. So once you have rural-urban migration, that migration tends to go out. They have the experience of migrating. And then also pull factor from Australia, like cheap labor. And then Australia, like up to the 1990s, the government used to give generous grants to Australian universities, but they stopped that because of liberalization, globalization. So Australian universities had to suddenly make up for that loss of grant from the government. So then they looked around and they found foreign students, you can charge them more fees. And then at the same time, there was a crash of birth rate in these Western countries, especially in Australia. So earlier, what was happening was the women and the teenagers used to do all these side jobs, overtime jobs. But as the status of women improved, they left that. They were then competing with the men more. And then the teenagers, they kind of were removed because their birth rate crashed. So they didn't have a lot of teenagers to do like those kind of jobs.
So you need to depend on the foreign workers.
Yeah. So then this is where the Bhutanese
come
workers enter, So you're replacing the
workforce.
So So a lot of reasons, all of that. So I have a lot more data, but I don't want to bore your your viewers. So I'll leave it at that. But
Then I'll ask you this one thing, because I remember a couple of years ago I read one of your posts on your Facebook page, or I think it was the Bhutanese or your own page. You wrote like, if you want to apply for this job vacancy, I don't want anyone who's planning to go to Australia or has thoughts of going to Australia. And I think someone was like, what kind of asshole to write that kind of thing? And also, so like right now, what would be your opinion? Like, let's say someone is here, let's say the ripe age of, let's say 23 or 24, finish the degree, now thinking what to do with my life, economy is not that great, hand to mouth. Should I consider going to Australia? What is your opinion? Like, you, if you're that person right now, would you be wanting to migrate? Would you be wanting to stay and try to find a career here?
So I think what's happening is this post, I put it up deliberately because what was happening is that we had a series of recruitments, no?
Who all left.
And new recruits, right? So I can understand if a senior staff is leaving after 3-4 years and they've served, they've done their bit, and then like I'm happy to give them a nice recommendation letter or that. There are people like in the interview, like I'm quite liberal, I don't make people sign bonds and all that. So I just tell them, give me your word that you'll give me at least 2 years, no? I'm not asking for much, just 2 years, and you learn in that 2 years, And they're like, yeah, sir, I'll definitely work. And after 6 months, sir, I got a visa, Happened a few times.
Okay.
So then I said, okay. So I said, okay, now people planning to go,
Okay.
don't apply,
Okay.
So immediately, if you're planning to go a couple of years down the line, so that's just
Fair enough,
the context of it. Then in terms of if you're a young person and you're about to graduate or just graduating or just graduated, there's a huge kind of pressure on you, because one of the migration theories is that now we've reached a stage. Earlier stage was that when you were migrating, it was considered that you were looked down upon, no? Like you couldn't hack it in Bhutan. You couldn't do it here. Now he's gone abroad to do what, but now it's opposite.
Yeah.
Now if a young person
Stays
doesn't,
back.
the
What are you
stays
doing?
back.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If he goes to a coffee or whatever, cafe or whatever, right?
Yes.
So his friends will say why aren't you migrating,
No.
So now the pressure is reversed. Now it's like a status symbol, remember? That I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm applying for this.
Plus.
And so I think that is quite, I think in a sense, and the reality, So I think it has become that much, and it's become so much easier to migrate, and then after a while, the danger for Bhutan is, I'll come to your question specifically, but just to lay the context out, the danger for Bhutan is, see, up to a certain point, if you generate economic growth, change the employment policies, this, that, it works. You can curb migration. But once the migration becomes easier than
Staying back.
Yeah, staying back, then you lost it. Then you can change your employment policy, this, that, but people will keep going because it's so easy to go and earn more money, right? So I think in that sense, we are reaching that tipping point, and then, so if you're a young person, I won't be a hypocrite, I would prefer that you stay back here and contribute to the country and contribute to the economy more. That's good for Bhutan.
Yes.
But then if a young person is graduating, what is the option? More. So the top option is RCSC. Then other option is if you're more corporate minded, one of the state-owned DHI companies, and bonus and all that, right? So that these two, then Ani Mathopachin, then down the line SOEs, then private sector, So I think that even if you don't get that, then if you want to be an entrepreneur, access to finance, these are still issues, remember? So I won't be a hypocrite and I won't say you stay back and then you're quietly sending your own family, So there was one story, one foreign journalist. So she had interviewed some Zongda and he was complaining for quite a while, so sad, miserable. And then the foreign journalist asked the Zongda, where are your kids? And they're both in Australia, So I won't be that hypocrite. So so it's your decision, remember? But I think what I can advise on is perhaps policymakers, because I've written about an editorial about this some time back. But what I realized is, as somebody as a small business person, is that in Bhutan you are good if you are a giant state-owned company or a big private player, If you're either of these, life is good because you can you have a team of lawyers to take care of the regulations and run around and all that, and all the policies favor you, Meva. And then I don't know whether it's because of IMF advice or World Bank advice or whatever, because we keep depending on consultants, we don't look at the ground realities, Meva. We've structured all our laws and systems which are suitable for large economies like USA, China, India. We have large corporations, even our tax system, everything, regulatory filings. The amount of paperwork filing that a small company has to do, you just need one extra person to do that, Ani file, AFA file my paper, your license can be cancelled, this could be cancelled, that could be cancelled, and then there's so much red tape, and it's so unfriendly in Bhutan to do business for smaller companies, remember? So I think that has to change,
Okay.
So when you bring in laws, when you bring in changes, please look at it from the ground realities. I would tell our policymakers, don't just do like, okay, because Japan is doing this, we'll do it. Because it worked in New Zealand, it's going to work in Bhutan. No, it's not, So I think please look at the ground realities. Like government people may not like it, but like the best example is GST. There's a hue and cry, and it's not that people don't want to pay tax. People may not know this, but you were paying more tax under the old system, but you didn't feel it. Never. Why you didn't feel it was not such a burden, no? Because now it's a real burden because you have to file
Separately.
separately and every month. Earlier tax used to be filed once a year. Okay. Now you have to file every month, and there are many businesses which are in that 5 million and plus category who are just barely above 5 million. They don't like a hardware store or like a grocery store, and like semi-educated, some are not educated. Now they have to hire a full-time accountant to just file, and that cost gets passed on to customers. So I think, and then GST in services. So, and then if you look at the revenue that's earned, it's not worth it. The government was earning much more money under the old sales tax system, right? But under GST, government is losing money. So I'm like, just because some consultant said it'll work, this
good
and that.
idea. Okay, let's do it.
I know. I mean, it doesn't like,
Okay,
So we don't have to keep impressing the chilifs, meva. So let's do things for ourselves, look at the ground realities, consult people, and then choko chapshe things, no? Or remove it also entirely.
Okay,
So less regulation, pro-business environment, small business, and that's when the young people will stay back, no man.
Okay.
You can't lecture them like, like I said earlier, post 1999, that ideology has gone out of the window.
Yes.
That's gone,
Okay,
So that talk might have worked like 20 years ago. It doesn't work anymore, right? So you have to improve the environment for them. You have to remove red tape, improve access to financing. And it's not only regulations, it's the attitude also. Like I talked about that French fries entrepreneur.
Yes.
Okay, I'll be honest, his business could have worked, may not have worked, but he never got a chance, you see.
Okay.
So Anibendegi, I think give our youth a chance, and then let them fail, and then through failure you learn, So trust them. So the attitude in Bhutan is like, I think the official attitude, and this is not just like one party or certain set of bureaucrats. Overall anime, it's very like, narrow as narrow can get, in terms of dealing,
Yes.
and then I think that really discourages youth. The entry barrier is so high,
Okay.
and then everything is like set up, like if you are like a big state-owned, like I said, company or a large company, private company, then it works for you, right? You know how to play the system also.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's very tough. Yeah.
Wow, nice. That was a very, very, multi-pointed answer, which I got a lot of insight for. So thank you for that answer. But now this is a very, what you call general question people like to ask these days.
Yeah.
I just want to hear your opinion on it.
Yeah.
Is now how can we bring them back? How can we bring everyone back? Which is like a very a mystery question we're throwing in the air right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the easier question is to improve the economy,
Yeah.
or like play to people's sentiments, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
family, work for the country's development. But that is not an easy thing for people to sacrifice because there's so many more better reasons to stay abroad than to come back. But what would be your opinion or an idea which might work or could work to bring back? And then also on the second part question is, do you think that is possible? Or do you think the migration will just increase and it will just end up having more and more people leave the country every year and we'll have to deal with that problem which cannot be fixed? Or if there is a solution, what do you think could it be?
So I think, the first thing is we have to face reality, And reality is that if you look at migration kind of data all over the world, once a group of people migrate, they don't come back easily. And even if they do, very few come back, So once they've left, you've lost those people. I mean, most of them for good, And I think that is something that's troubling. That's reality. Now, what you can do is you can't bring most of them back. Maybe some will come back. What you can do is you can improve the business environment, the country's environment, to the point of discouraging further migration.
Okay.
So I think in that sense, I think everything we need to do has to focus on improving ease of doing business. Because now when young people come out, I mean, they don't want to join the civil service no more. Nobody wants to be like be 9 to 5 and going like Lata show and all. That era is gone, dead.
Okay.
And especially with the Gen Z crowd, you're talking about Reddit and all, right? I
Yes.
mean, their views, Mosh. Like it's like very radical, revolutionary at times. Like the Gen Z, I
Yes.
think Nepal angle you were mentioning earlier. So these people are not going to sit in the office and work. Like they want to create business. They want to do different things. They have different ideas.
Yeah,
Mosh.
yeah,
So you have to know what generation you're dealing with first.
yeah. Okay.
Emosh. So Ani, when you know, so if you understand that, and then you have to create things like that accordingly. Remember? So I mean, like just to give a small a positive example, like you have I think now bar timings have improved. Remember, Hemat Ziuda, and then there are efforts to bring in musical concerts and all that.
Yeah.
And I feel that I think over here, the only person really taking initiative on that front, I mean, is His Majesty, So encouraging these younger things, and then you have even the park down there.
Oh yeah, Changi Park.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jungle Park and all. So I think you have to create space, physical space for
Oh,
the
okay.
youth.
All right.
You have to I mean, small things also matter, right? You might not be able to do the big things right away, and then of course ease of so everybody has to pitch in, and we have to undergo a mindset change, right? So we have now two choices. The road, we've reached the fork road. One, we continue where we're doing, and we are headed for, I would say, disaster.
Okay.
Because what's already happening, and my paper, we've been covering this, a lot of stories. A few years ago, it was unthinkable that a shop space in Northern Lum will go empty.
Mm-hmm.
What used to happen before is that the, not even Northern Lum, other areas,
Okay.
business areas, when the building owners started digging the foundation, right, with a bulldozer, he'll already get people booking the apartments 1-2 years in advance, and then they pay him advance, and all that, right? Now, they're big buildings along Northern Lum, like our main business district more, and their shop spaces are still empty. If you go along Northern Lum, and if you ask the shops there, what was your business pre-pandemic and post-pandemic? Pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, minimum drop in business is 50%.
Okay.
It goes up to 70%.
Okay.
Why? Because the crowd that spends money, the crowd that goes out to eat, goes shopping for clothes, that goes out, night outs, karaoke, whatever, right? Shopping and all that, they've gone to Australia. And then the remaining have gone to Middle East. A smaller number there, right?
Yes.
So Anvendegi, we are there the Perth contributing to Perth's economy and all that, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, you can blame them.
So the thing is, it's having huge impact, and it's like a contagion. It's a contagion. Then the business people, there are business people who are doing well, but they're considering also going to Australia,
Yeah.
selling everything. And there are people who sold
Yes.
property and all that, Now there are more sellers in the market than buyers, So Anibendegi, I think we have to start small, right? Start small, and I think we have to change our core philosophy, our thinking process. It has to start in the mind, remember? So I think in that sense, in our case, the hive mind more, it has to change, that we have to change our policies. Everything has to be made easier, more liberal for our youth to stay back, And then we have to revisit laws which don't work anymore. For example, I think we have to make migration, professional work migration to Bhutan easier. Because the amount of people leaving, we'll have to replace after a while the doctors, the
I
nurses.
think we're already doing that right now by hiring so much Indian staff.
Yeah. I mean, we have no choice now, So, Anibendegi, I think we have to make our the economy vibrant. And for that, you have to change the policies, the laws, but most important is the mindset. So if you're still stuck in the Hemagi, like that, looking thing, I think then we are headed for, this is I've said this before, so the Prime Minister said it a couple of years ago, this is the biggest challenge facing Bhutan. Because it can destroy so many things, and it's a contagion. One affects the other, it affects the other. And I think it's terrible, I think we really need to push all the emergency buttons and start as of yesterday on it. Yeah.
So, I need to ask on this point then.
So if we're trying to promote GMC as like an antithesis to this problem and trying to find, people to come back, improve our economy, improve all aspects of our life in Bhutan, but we need to try to have something that we need to offer for the global scene, at least what Bhutan can offer. So what do you think is our unique selling point?
So I think, GMC, I've written about this before, but for your viewers more. See, GMC is aimed at two main problems that Bhutan faces, which is also contributing to the migration. Number one is geography, which I mentioned. We are the world's most mountainous country, So literally geography, which worked in Bhutan's, our advantage in the past, like keeping out invaders and keeping out the British, because it was not worth invading Bhutan, so mountainous and didn't have much natural resources more. So I think that kept Bhutan safe, Now the fortress has become like prison walls, because it's so difficult to, like the geography I'm talking about, like building road and like, to putting it, it's so difficult, So in that sense, and landlocked and all that, right? So it's become a big disadvantage. And the second big disadvantage is population, I mentioned. We have a small population, no market, no specialization, nothing, right? And, why young people are leaving is because our economy is so small because of these factors. You need a bigger economy which allows for young people to specialize and do specialized jobs, and specialized jobs give you the real money. Right?
Yes.
So I mean, like there are only so many people who can become like
specialists.
In the general sense, like a program officer in the ministry and all.
All right.
There's only so many slots, but after that you have to specialize. That's where the real money is more. You have to join the international economy. But when the economy is very basic, like Bhutan's, like hydropower, construction, tourism, and that's it, some trading, right? So you can't specialize, so people are leaving. So you have to create a specialist economy.
Okay.
So in that sense, GMC, in geography, this is the flattest piece of land we have. You can fit all the Thomdes, including Thimphu Thomde, into GMC and there'll still be space left.
Okay.
Even Paro will fit there. And then that takes care of the geography, and is located right next to the international border with Assam. And they are like rail link and highway and all. Highway is already there, rail link is coming in more. And then the airport and all. So then the other is population. Now the big other problem is we don't have the population.
And our birth rate apparently is declining the past 30 years. It's been down like 70%, I think.
So I think last year we like kind of stabilized it, but I think the general graph is going down. So their population, no way like we can produce so many babies overnight, right? So the thing is, then what you do, you get in foreigners, skilled people. Like you look at how like Dubai, Qatar, Doha, Abu Dhabi, these have like Hong Kong, like you get in good people.
But they have spending power also, no?
No, so but then you create the economy. You create the economy where they can come in, and then I think the GMC is an attempt at that, not to be an Abu Dhabi, but to create. You give the lay of the land, you give the basic physical infrastructure, you create the world's most liberal laws. And then I think that's where His Majesty has already laid out the Diamond Strategy.
Yes.
So Diamond Strategy, as you must be knowing, is that it's just not about GMC, but the rest of Bhutan should catch up. So I think taking His Majesty's already, in the National Day Hemage address Nalo, I think our governments, our civil servants should take inspiration from that, and then also work on making our laws within the rest of Bhutan, the rest of the 19 Dzongkhaks, as liberal, as business friendly as possible. That's the only way we can change, right? So I think in that sense, coming back to GMC, it's addressing the twin problems at the same time, with the focus being to create specialized jobs. So not another just normal thing. Specialized jobs, and also like if you have like a business idea, you can go down there and do it. So I think that's the vision, And some people may say that, it's quite a risky venture and we're investing a lot, and what if it doesn't work and all that more. So these are legitimate fears. But then do we have a choice? So do we have a choice? Because if we continue like this, 5-year plan famro chichap, school chichap, give a basic water connection which doesn't work after a few months, So I think then that's not, our youth are not going to wait. Our youth are not going to wait, And if you look at political party pledges, ever since we've gotten democracy, most of the pledges are like farm road chap gay, And they're like,
I think we're trying to cater to a different kind of generation.
Yeah. So like, because the constituencies are spread out, man.
Yes.
So you want to like
okay.
and it's mostly rural.
Got it.
Yeah. But then you're not catering to the core issue, which is like the lack of jobs, the lack of specialization of the economy. So every government comes in and they spend the 5-year plan money and they're like, oh, we've done our job.
Now we're just going to...
And the civil servants are very happy because they have these agreements where essentially it's about spending the money. The quality of the work is something else, of course, you know. But so it's like money spending, and then what is the outcome? You know, I mean, where the jobs and all that. So so we have to revisit everything's no man. You know, if we continue on this path, I mean, we are headed for really tough times, huh?
Okay. But I can tell, and thank you for the insight. I can really paint a picture of what could be one of the possibilities of the future. But just to give a input, like on my own self, because I was whatever you described. Like I was, after college, I decided to come. I was studying in Malaysia, and I studied art degree. It was a filmmaking degree, and then I had opportunities to work there, but I didn't really try because I said, you know what, I want to come back to Bhutan and I want to pursue my career in Bhutan because I have more advantages over there rather than working in a foreign land. Maybe I'll get more experience, more exposure, but I want to do things in Bhutan. So when I got here, I interned at BBS, and I interned for 10 months, and I didn't see a career there because they said, you know, it might come an opportunity for you to get a job, but then it never came, so I felt frustrated, so I said no. Then the opportunity came for me through the Ministry of Labour to go to Japan. So I went to Japan saying, you know, right now it seems like whatever I'm trying to do here is not possible. I don't have the expertise to do what I want. I better get trained elsewhere and try to have a career there. So when I was in Japan, I finally went for the monetary gain. I kind of, you know, put my passion and my career pursuits in the back seat, more or less. To make money, let's get some better exposure over there. So finally, when I made money there, then I realized, you know, like I think this was critical for me. Like I realized not enough money would be enough for me to be happy because I want to pursue my career and passion. So I said, I'll take that step back because now I've already proven to myself that I can hack it over there. Now maybe I can put 50% of the effort in Bhutan because I know Bhutanese is very lazy. We can, I can adapt to with Japanese training. So I said I'll try to pursue my career here, whether it be making content or making films or making whatever it is. And if I fail, it's fine. But at least I need to try. And if I make at least median salary of Bhutanese, let's say 25,000, I'll be happy. I don't need to make more than that. So the reason why I came back was I was trying to pursue my passion, and I was happy with my scenario because I'm close to my family and my friends, and I like the lifestyle I have here. So those are my two factors. I want to pursue my passion, and because of my friends and family. So I think maybe if you want to bring people back, you need to cater to that passion, I think.
Of course.
Because I think no one's going to come back to Bhutan saying, I'm going to go back to Bhutan because I'm going to be a Korapati. I think no one's going to think that way.
Of course.
I think people are only going to come back if they say, I want to, you know, there's opportunity for me to, you know, become a specialist in this or to pursue a career in this, and then I can do this and that. Like more of a purpose. I think you need to give people a sense of purpose. So I think that might work, in my opinion. Maybe, I don't know. Because it worked for me. Because right now, this career line is still difficult. I'm making more than I thought I would, but 5 years before I thought it was almost impossible. But now I feel very fulfilled because I'm actually doing this kind of field and it's paying my bills rather than me saying it's okay. I like, let's say example, I like playing football, but that's never going to be a career, so I better get a 9-to-5 job. I think that sacrifice, I think everyone deals with that in their life. So I think that would be my opinion, to bring people back, to find something, a purpose for them to come back.
Definitely. I think, you know, at the end of the day, I think what especially young people look forward to is money is important, but like a purpose in life. Like what is their purpose in life? So I think my theory is, and I mean, I could be wrong, but my theory is like, let's say if a Bhutanese is earning, let's say around 4 lakhs a month. You know, like the standard.
Here or abroad?
Abroad. No, Australia.
Okay. Here, wow, why even go abroad? Wow, great, I'll just save the rest of my life. Okay.
So if they're earning like, let's say, you know, working like 17, 18 hours a day and earning, let's say 4 lakhs a month. And then I think they are the ones who are willing to come back, and even if they get like 50, 60,000, maybe even 1 lakh a month, like income, they're willing to adjust. Because first of all, basic math is that your cost of living is going to be much lower here. And then the benefits you get here, like, you know, like free healthcare, and then free education, you know, other things,
political
peace
stability
with your family and all that, right? So you're willing to give up those things. So I think in that sense, at one level is very challenging. It's difficult to bring people back from the international like migration data, because once they go, they will not come back. And the other thing is, how can you make it easier? Now, if I can give another like small things we can do. I'm letting out a story idea, but it's, the thing is, I believe recently, I won't name the school. There was a good school in Thimphu. There is a good school in Thimphu. A representative of parents came from Australia.
Okay.
And this is a bit controversial, and then that school had just turned into Cambridge. So their parent had come thinking that Cambridge Nalo, that Dzongkha is not compulsory. Like, it's not compulsory to pass Dzongkha. Because right now in our system, if you fail Dzongkha, you're failed. Right? So they came back with great hope, representing a lot of parents from Australia, because they have kids studying in Australia who, while they know maybe basic Dzongkha, may not be able to pass our Dzongkha test, right?
They come here, they will not be able to
So
adapt.
I think he came here with a lot of hope, and he met the school principal and he said, I heard you're a Cambridge school, and it's a private school. And I have a lot of Bhutanese parents who want to come back.
Okay.
The only reason they're staying in Australia is because their kids are studying there.
Yeah, they can't.
And if the Dzongkha is
Required.
they will take Dzongkha, but I mean, if it's not required to pass, we're more than happy to bring. And unfortunately, because our education system falls under the education ministry, the principal had to tell the representative of the Bhutanese parents there that I'm sorry, they have to come here, sit for the Dzongkha test, and if they don't pass the Dzongkha test, they fail.
Okay.
And there's another example where a few people have migrated because their kids were failing in Dzongkha here. Like, there's one who migrated to New Zealand and others. So people are migrating for one main reason is, of course, the younger ones are going for income, and a little older ones, once they settle there, have kids, take kids from here or have kids over there, they're doing it for their kids. Like, they want to come back, but like it's just for their kids, So I think like some small things, like maybe is it really necessary to make like Dzongkha a must-pass subject, because you have thousands of Bhutanese kids studying in Australian schools. Now, if you stick by the old rules, and this is where I'm saying the mindset has to change. The so tengo bera bego, all of that, then these kids are not going to come back, and the family will not come back. They will become Australians, right? So you don't really need to like change things, like invest billions, meva. If you can make the correct policy changes, be sensitive, compromise a little bit. Nobody's saying don't have Dzongkha. Have Dzongkha, teach it in school more, but do you really need to make it a must-pass subject, right? Okay. So I mean, a bit controversial.
Yes.
But the thing is, we have to now start asking ourselves hard questions. Do you want a country with people or without people? So you can hold on to everything and like live in the past, or you want to move ahead with times and the future. So Anibendigi, and I believe a lot of Australian-based people who come back also, this is the main headache they're facing, because they bring their kids here.
And the kids can't speak
keep failing, and the education ministry is doesn't have answers, and they want to help because they're following the norms, and then after a while, then they migrate back there. The kid is like,
can adapt.
How many, like for how many years will their kids stay in class 3 or class 4? So then they go back there.
That's a very tough question you have to ask us. I never thought about that angle.
Something simple.
Do you want a country full of people who can speak half Dzongkha, or you want a country full of little people who can speak Dzongkha?
Or the third option, you want a country full of foreigners.
Because
we'll have to replace the doctors leaving, the teachers leaving. You will have to, right? Which we're already doing now.
Okay.
Like you look at JD, like the nursing staff, health professionals is already starting. Teachers, and then do you want like a Bhutanese teacher who may not know like the best Dzongkha and all that, but knows Dzongkha, right? Or do you want like somebody from Kerala
teaching Dzongkha?
teaching Dzongkha, So I mean, now, you cannot be like a tree, right? A tree that can bend with the wind survives. A tree that doesn't bend will crack and fall.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know
So I think our country has reached that point. Are we willing to like change our like immigration laws, for example, our education policies? Like it's so difficult to start an international school in Bhutan. You know why?
Why?
I mean, we keep saying, we'll start international school, international college, we'll invite Harvard, Oxford.
Yeah.
But when they want to start, the first question that comes is, will the parents have to pay SDF fees or not? What clothes will they wear?
Okay.
Will they wear, like, can they wear, like... So what curriculum? So I mean, it's so difficult because the policies are not friendly, you know.
Yeah.
So you want to like change with the times, which I think His Majesty is setting the path for that, with GMC and with Diamond Strategy and all that. Or do you want to be stuck in the past and live in the past? Because the next generation are not going to live here. You know, I mean, they already we have, by my calculation, as I was giving the data earlier, between 2023 and 2023, 24, 25, 26, we've lost 30,000 Bhutanese. In 3 years, 3 financial years, we've lost 30,000 Bhutanese, right? 15, 9, 6 year, 30,000 in 3 years. This year, we're heading to probably another 10,000.
Okay, so it'll be 40 by the end of this year.
Yeah, just to Australia. We're not even counting Middle East and Canada and the rest, you know. And then, you know, because of that, like shops are going out of business. People can't pay their loans. Tourism sector is already down, right? I mean, man, come on, you know. So, you know, because one thing I like to do is I like to spot patterns, I like to spot patterns, you know. And then I like to write things. And then initially a lot of people will disagree with me, but it happens to be true. Like, for example, you know, after COVID, remember we had a big debate on like face mask.
Yeah.
Initially, the government itself was coming on and said, don't use face mask, it's useless. And I kept going on Facebook and saying and writing articles saying face mask this is the research. And I had doctors because some people in the government were saying face mask is not important. I had doctors coming with me, debating me on my Facebook saying why face mask is not important. Eventually the science changed, right? That face mask goes. Why face mask was considered not important was because WHO was worried that people are using up the doctors' supply. But once the production was up there, they realized that it's very important. So Anibendegi, I think like you have to be able, as a journalist, you have to be able to spot trends, you know, and like for me, this is like most like troubling trend that from analysis, from talking to people, looking at the big data, looking at people's stories, no, and I'm really like worried like where we're heading, you know, and then it's like the cliff is there like 500 meters ahead, but we are still like, you know,
going slowly towards it,
you know.
Yes.
And we know
we're doing nothing to
move
other way.
We're not, I mean, we know we're going to like go over the cliff, you know. So I think we have to make big changes here, you know, and doesn't have to cost us money. It just could be some smart policy changes, and then things will start falling in place. And then Mabewachin, I think, you know, one day we're going to go over the cliff.
Okay, wow, that's some. But yeah, it seems likely. Thank you for sharing. Okay, let's pivot a little bit. I think even if we debate this for like 2 hours, we still will come up with no solution. But let's leave it to the audience. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Most of you are abroad. What would be the reason to come back? What do you think is going to happen? If you guys are here, are you leaving? Why not? Why to stay? Let me know in the comments. So before we pivot, Anio. So now you being a journalist, I think last time, in the Bhutan Media Forum, I was there. You were talking about censorship. So in Bhutan, we also we have a certain I don't know, imaginary walls which we cannot go out of. Yeah. And you being a journalist, how do you battle with that, Sangachiki? That somewhat we have a freedom of speech, but it's more of a glass ceilings. So how do you deal with the censorship in Bhutan as being a journalist?
So I believe in pushing the boundaries. I think a journalist, apart from the many roles we have to play, is you have to keep testing the boundaries. And you have to keep pushing it, you know. So I think it's a public duty to keep pushing the boundaries. And I can give a specific example. I don't know if you've heard of this Penjor case.
The land.
Not land. The guy who was locked up for writing stuff on Facebook, and he was sued by the former OAG and all of that.
I think I know a little bit, but I don't know extensively. A little bit.
So he basically went on Facebook and made a lot of some allegations against he's himself. Against some people, against the judiciary, this that. And then the former OAG sued him in court for sedition and all that. And he was not an easy person to defend because he was making all kind of nonsense statements on Facebook, you know, but not seditious, you know. And then it's based on his own, he had some financial issues with the banks and all. But so I think he is the weakest link you have to always defend the weakest link. So my paper, we went out of the way to defend him, and we wrote a lot of articles and all that, and his was not an easy case to defend. So we defended him, and I think it had an impact to the point that first the former OAG's case collapsed in court. Then again, he has written stuff against the police also, Then the police took up and really sued him, So, and then again we had to defend him against the police, right? And then the police case also collapsed in court. And I think his judgment set an important benchmark for freedom of speech in Bhutan. The court defined like freedom of speech, So I think that's where it's a job of the media. We have to expand freedom of speech not only for ourselves, but for the public. So what is actually sedition? What is defamation? So anidi ngacheki boundary set beko. So I think self-censorship is there in every country. Like, okay, the most free media in the world is supposed to be USA, US media. Tell them to write about Gaza in a way. The editor's going to lose his job the next day. Right. So every country has their own little things, but as where you can and as much as possible, you expand the boundaries for your for yourself and your society. That's what I believe in.
All right. No, thanks for sharing. I think you touched upon that. I think we can come up to our own conclusions for that way. Okay, now I think we've been talking about a lot of serious and deep stuff. So just to take a little step back, I'd like to, we're a very film-centric podcast because me and my team, we're all film lovers. So I just want to know, like that time we mentioned about true crime and documentaries. When you're by yourself and you're not in journalist mode, and you're home to get entertained, what are your top 4 movies or top 4 like documentaries, or top 4, let's say, podcasts you like?
Okay. So I mean, in terms of movies, I used to, when I was younger, I used to like the blockbuster kind of stuff, like action movies and with in my time, when I was much younger, Arnold and Stallone, and Van Damme, and
Predator,
when I was a kid,
True Lies,
not that old,
Terminator. No, Terminator 2 is known as one of his favorite films. Those my films.
So when you like that, so you go for those. But as you get older, as you mature, you are looking for film of like substance. So something which may not have a big budget, but which has a nice story and that leaves you satisfied. Like film is like food. Like the big blockbuster movies are like junk food.
Fast food.
It's enjoyable to watch it, but then you're done.
Then
there's nothing much.
Not nutritious.
So I like kind of stuff which is like leaves you thinking and all that, right? So Anibe, so I think like over the years, like Spotlight, you were talking about earlier,
love Spotlight,
so all of that, So I mean, in those categories, and then films that about relationships, about human nature, I mean, I can't name specific ones because I'm terrible with names. It's quite funny for a journalist, but I'm not that great with names. But anyhow, I mean, those kind of films, you get the idea. Podcasts, I like to watch the other side. So like I like to watch like these like
right wing,
to know what they're up to, like these conspiracy theorists. So like like Alex Jones.
But Alex Jones came up. He was right all along. He was studying the elite for like 20 years. When the Epstein files came out, everything he said was right.
No, so that's the reason, So so off late, why I've been watching like Alex Jones and then Taka and even Megyn Kelly. I mean, I used to.
What about Candace Owens? Do you watch?
Candace Owens. I used to not be a big fan of these people. But why I've started watching them is because I think in the Gaza war, I think they've been very forthright. Like they're against America going into foreign wars, and even the Iran war, which is affecting, all of us, with this huge fuel prices and huge kind of bill for the government to support the fuel prices. So Anibendegi, I think, I like to watch them, and then I like to watch. If you're watching on TV, I mostly watch news. Like Al Jazeera is my favorite these days. Because everything that's like Iran war, everything they have the latest. So my TV is like 24/7 on that, in the morning, evening, and then on the online I like to read articles, read up analysis articles, and then X. I love X because it doesn't have the reach of TikTok and all that, but that's where a lot of journalists are, and then we connect with each other. We follow them, they follow us, and then what's happening in their country, and news is broken very fast on X. More than like TikTok, any other platform. In terms of international news, and also journalists like break it there. So I think it's important for a tool for us also to kind of pick up on international news, regional news, and then link it back with Bhutan.
Okay.
What impact is coming to the country and all that. No? Consume a lot of online media and then and films, like quality films.
Nice.
You know. Yeah.
So how does your YouTube and TikTok algorithm look like?
TikTok is a lot of
News, huh?
discussions, news based.
Okay, let's.
Is my TikTok is full of Iran news, like talk on Trump and all that, right? And then so I consume a lot of that. So my algorithm is like completely.
Actually,
that.
I just came up a thought. Sorry to interrupt, but have you seen the Jubilee, that one right wing versus 20 left wing kind of scenario? It is one person,
they're surrounded by
I think you would work.
Yeah.
One journalist versus 20 policymakers. Tell me, I'll make that video. Let me know in the comments. I think that'll be a good video.
So, but there is. There's again the pro and con there,
No.
So the pro is very entertaining and you have thorough debate. But the con is, I think, in today's polarized age, I think that's not how you should approach. Because if you, on a public platform, prove that somebody is wrong, they lose face, meba.
Oh, yes.
And then they're going to be even harder. They're not going to change their view.
They're going to keep a grudge on you.
Because you cannot change beliefs by shaming people. So you have to understand, why is this person such a conspiracy theorist, meba?
Okay.
So you have to understand, and then you have to connect with that person, and then subtle, then you try to bring them to see your viewpoint. You understand their viewpoint, their context, meba. So that's real dialogue. So hard debate. You're
that's
wrong.
Good for clicks, no?
So you got this wrong, and you don't know your facts and all
the
that.
Gotcha
thing. I think that is entertaining, but I think that's not good. If you want to have a real dialogue, that's not the way to do it. So you understand where they're coming from. They might be completely wrong, but you understand, for example, why do Trump supporters support Trump, So you have to understand the social, cultural, economic, and then you approach them from that.
From that angle, rather than saying they know what you think is wrong, I'll prove you're wrong and you'll be ashamed.
It's just like saying you're just a racist, that's the easiest thing to tell them. But why they're doing that, they are things, factors, so I understand big of khache.
Sorry, I'll just give a quick text back. Okay. So another unserious question. I usually ask this question towards the end. I ask them, are you a snacker? Do you snack on any snacks, chips?
I snack a lot.
Okay. So what is your favorite Lay's color?
It varies between cream and onion.
Okay.
And but sometimes I like the masala also.
Okay. All right. I do a personality test. So I feel like most Bhutanese, especially girls, love blue Lays because of the masala flavor. So I categorize as a basic person. Very NPC, generic is blue Lays. But if you're green or yellow, then you have a little bit of a personality on you. Okay. So you're a little bit basic, but a little bit also eccentric. So I'll give you to that. And then lastly, no, we'll do this in the end. Let's say today is your last day on Earth, in Bhutan. What would be your final meal? And if you can think of a specific meal or course, maybe a thali, what same would you have?
Okay. So I think, I've turned vegetarian for the last 1 year.
Okay, nice.
But then if it's a final meal, what's the point,
What's the point, yeah.
So I'll obviously go for all the traditional dishes.
Okay.
Like shakampa, sikam, and pango.
Pango also. Okay.
Kanchu.
Okay. Well, head and the Phubz. Okay.
Yeah. So, then yakam, everything,
Okay.
So a bit of everything. And then a good emadasi, whatever.
And how's your rice? White, red?
Red
rice.
I think the nutty flavor is much better than plain white rice.
And then do you have eze, anything?
Of course, eze.
What kind of, how is the eze? Is it the red chili, green chili? How is it?
I prefer the red chili.
Tsisibe.
Tsisibe,
With gop and lamp in there. Okay, all right. And
So
what beverage would you accompany with it?
So beverage suja, suja. Nothing like suja with the meal. Like
no alcohol to call it the last day of your life?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
I
don't partake.
Oh, you're a teetotaler.
Teetotaler, yeah.
Teetotaler. I don't know that word.
Teetotaler for, I think before a year ago, I used to do maybe at events, maybe a bit of red wine and all that. So I never did hard drinks. I never, took I mean, like in the regular way, hard drinks. But
Okay.
so do wine. But then from a year ago, I just like,
Cut it all off.
Yeah. Because as
Okay,
you get
nice.
older, you have to take care of your health.
Yes, yes. But what about when you're younger? Then you don't have to do it when you're old. Okay, then, I always ask this usually, but now right now it came to me. Like, I feel like everyone needs a bad habit because you can't be always too good. A vice.
Yeah.
Like example, let's say you're everything's good health, mental, physical, career,
Yeah.
but let's say in the weekend you drink. Fine, one
Yeah.
bad habit. Or you just take a cigarette,
Yeah.
or you eat baba or Rajnikanth, I don't know.
Yeah,
So what is your vice?
So I snack, man.
Oh, snacking. Oh, you're a snacker. Okay.
So I have like a calorie and a thing,
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to exceed
that
but-
calorie
but-
count. Okay.
Yeah, but by the end of the day, like,
Okay.
and then next day you feel bad and you
Work
work out more, no?
So you're
Yeah,
eating like what, like all like
Yeah.
paksha sikam and croissants and potato chips and all
yeah,
burgers and all
carbs,
that.
carbs.
Oh.
I love carbs. Yeah.
Fries.
Yeah.
Okay.
So fries and croissant. Croissant is my favorite. you know.
Okay, me also I love
Yeah,
croissant.
that's the best.
Anyway, croissant sandwich when you put like ham in between, but now you're a vegetarian
Yeah,
with cheese.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's really good. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Maybe someone can. I want Andrew to get a croissant after this. Okay. Oh, lastly, this is the final thing we
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
So I had a guest. She was an oracle,
Yeah,
and she collaborated with a local artist here to make
Yeah.
now local oracle cards.
Oh, okay.
Very nice. Very well.
Okay.
They're all
Okay.
Bhutanese themed. See,
Oh, nice, lovely, eh? Yeah. Yeah.
So imagine you're in Changakhang or any temple wherever you go.
Yeah,
You ask a question to the universe.
Yeah.
So if you can ask a question to the universe, and then you can pick a card, then you can read it, and that'll be the answer from the universe. So
Okay.
pick it one. And if you want to share, you can share the question to us. Otherwise, you can keep it to yourself. Up to
Okay.
you. But what you do is just ask the question. Example, will Bhutanese come back to us from Australia? And then just shuffle
I
it.
think I'm
and
gonna
then
ask the
pick a
question.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Since we spent.
No, just
So I can
shuffle
pick
it.
up, shuffle it.
You have to touch
Okay.
it. The energy has to be transferred.
Okay. So I shuffle it like a
Yes.
card, right?
Yeah, you keep shuffling and ask the question.
Okay. The question is, will Bhutanese come back or not? More.
Yes. And then you can pick one.
No, I think let's ask something more realistic.
Okay, more realistic.
Will we change our policies and mindset or not?
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Bhutanese coming back is too much.
Yeah, very difficult
Yeah,
to
so
answer. that.
first change the policies. Mush. So I pick up the top
Yeah,
one, right?
pick anyone.
Okay.
Okay.
So what does this say?
It says,
let's
can you
put it
turn
for you.
upside down?
Upside down,
What
yeah,
is
yeah.
it? What does it say? What does it say? It says surrender.
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 So what does that mean?
Wow, I don't know. Let's find out. What's the number? 13. Wow, surrender. Wow, that's interesting. Huh? Okay. Oh, yeah, you can just read
Okay.
the top and then the both bottom. So both are
Surrender.
answers. One will explain what surrender means, and one will might answer your question.
Okay. The dragons. Okay. Immerse yourself in the gentle currents of water. Release your grip on control. Whoa. And flow with the rhythm of life, trusting that each moment guides you towards deeper wisdom and tranquility. Surrender represents the profound release of control and acceptance of the present moment, allowing for peace and the flow of life's journey. This card also fosters personal growth by encouraging you to trust the natural unfolding of events, cultivating patience and a deeper connection with your inner truth. So I think I find a positive, I'm an optimist,
Okay.
I find a positive, so things will change.
Okay.
Yes.
But you also let go of control.
Let go of control. It's exactly what we want,
Okay. Oh, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Okay. So, thank you again. We
Yeah,
come to the
yeah.
end of the podcast. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
It was very insightful.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot of things from this, and I'm sure people who have listened to the whole thing have learned a lot of
Yeah.
good data, good
Yeah.
fact-based
Yeah.
opinions, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And since towards the end, we could not offer you more than just some hot tea.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
usually have our guests
Yeah.
in the end to promote anything they like or any words, the final thing to say. So
Yeah.
usually if we have an artist, they say, please follow me on Instagram, TikTok, check out my new song, whatever. Example like that.
Yeah.
So lastly, anything to plug, promote, the floor is yours now.
So I think, I won't plug anything, but I'll just say, take care of your physical health, your mental health, and don't lose hope. Is for the younger people out there, and then always be an optimist, and I'm sure things will improve as we move along.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Lastly, final few words, but very inspiring.
Yeah.
And if you want to check out what Bhutanese posts, we can catch them on Facebook and X, right?
Yeah.
And also
Facebook,
TikTok,
X,
huh?
TikTok, yeah, we have a
Okay,
TikTok.
all right, you can follow them. I'll keep the links all in the description. Please
Yeah.
do follow. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, thank you so much again.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed. I personally did. I learned a lot of things.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have a tradition where we just do one single clap and then we end. But before we do that, we have to give a shout out to the podheads again. They've appeared again magically in the sky. Thank you, our podheads.
A lot of them,
And thank you to our podhead pros.
Elo Bello, Rabsel Lhendup, Norbit Digital, Karma Zimba, Tandin Phubz, Pema Samdrup, and Susan B. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, until the next episode, goodbye. Okay, just one single clap, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Okay.